The grocery store smelled like fresh bread and disinfectant, a place meant for ordinary routines, yet for Maria it felt like the heaviest room in the world as she stood at the return counter holding a can of baby milk with both hands, her fingers slightly shaking while her young daughter, Emma, rested against her shoulder, small and quiet, trusting in a way only children can. Maria hadn't slept properly in weeks. Being a single mother was never part of her plan, but life doesn't ask for permission before it changes everything. Emma's father had left before she was even born, promises fading faster than the ink on paper, leaving Maria alone with love stronger than fear but bills louder than hope. That morning, she had checked her wallet again and again, hoping something would change, but it hadn't. Rent was overdue, electricity was one warning away from being shut off, and the money she had left was not enough to survive the week. Returning the milk felt like failure carved into her chest, yet she had no other choice. The cashier looked at the can, then at Maria's tired eyes, clearly uncomfortable, while people behind her waited, some impatient, some distracted, most unaware that a life-altering decision was unfolding in front of them. A few steps back stood a man in a tailored suit, calm, composed, watching silently. His name was Daniel Reed, a self-made millionaire who had risen from nothing to everything through relentless work and sharp instincts. To the world, he was powerful, respected, untouchable. But in that moment, something about Maria stopped him. It wasn't just her worn sweater or the way she clutched the milk like it was made of glass, it was the quiet dignity in her sadness, the way she whispered to Emma, "It's okay, Mama's here," even though she herself was barely holding together. The cashier explained softly that the return would only give store credit, not cash. Maria's shoulders dropped, and after a long pause, she nodded, tears threatening to spill as she said she understood. Then she said the words that froze Daniel in place, "I'll just make do for a few days." He knew what that meant. He remembered his own childhood, watching his mother water down food, pretending she wasn't hungry, pretending everything was fine. Before logic could stop him, Daniel stepped forward and placed his card on the counter, asking the cashier to cancel the return and add the milk back to the bill. Maria turned instantly, panic and embarrassment flashing across her face, insisting she couldn't accept help, that she didn't want pity. Daniel met her eyes and spoke gently but firmly, saying, "I'm not helping because I feel sorry for you. I'm helping because no child should ever pay the price for how hard life can be." The surrounding noise seemed to fade as the cashier completed the transaction. Daniel didn't stop there. He asked Maria if she had eaten today. She shook her head. He added groceries. He asked about Emma's age. He added diapers. People nearby started paying attention, some moved by the scene, others skeptical, but Daniel didn't care. He asked Maria about her life, and slowly, with a voice that trembled at first, she told him about her dreams of becoming a teacher, how she had to quit college, how she worked late nights cleaning offices while Emma slept beside her in a stroller. Daniel listened without interrupting, without checking his phone, without rushing her pain. Then he did something no one expected. He pulled out a small notebook, wrote down a name and number, and handed it to her. He told her it belonged to a foundation he funded quietly, one that helped single parents restart their education, find childcare, and rebuild stability. Maria stared at the paper like it wasn't real. She had heard promises before. Daniel must have seen the doubt in her eyes because he said, "Tomorrow, you call. Not because I'm rich, but because you're strong, and strength deserves a chance." He paid for everything, smiled at Emma, and walked away without asking for thanks, cameras, or attention. That night, Maria cried, not from fear, but from relief. She called the number the next morning. It was real. Over the next months, her life changed step by step. Childcare was arranged. Tuition was covered. She returned to school. It wasn't easy. There were days she wanted to quit, nights she fell asleep exhausted, but she kept going. Years later, Maria stood in a classroom as a certified teacher, Emma sitting in the front row, smiling proudly, unaware that her future once balanced on a single can of milk at a grocery store counter. Daniel never followed up publicly, never took credit, but that moment changed him too. He began to look at success differently, not as numbers, but as impact. This story is not just about a millionaire or a poor mother. It's about awareness, compassion, and the incredible power of one decision made at the right moment. If this story touched your heart, if you believe kindness can still change lives, then make sure to subscribe to this channel, because every story we share is a reminder that hope exists, humanity matters, and sometimes, one small act can change everything.